April 2026 at 2:30 p.m. The Chairperson Budget and Appropriation Committee sought leave to table the report of his committee on the supplementary budget estimates today. I gave directions that the same would be transacted through a supplementary order paper. As such, honorable members, pursuant to Standing Order 42.2, and for the convenience of the flow of business of this sitting, I direct that we start with the business under the supplementary order paper. We can now proceed. First order.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
No further communication.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers. Under this order, Honorable Speaker, there is a paper by Honorable Isaac Kongo Wajiru, the Chairperson Committee on Budget and Appropriations.
Very well. Honorable Isaac Kongo Wajiru, Chairperson, Budget and Appropriation, member for Wanjohi Ward.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this morning of 22nd April 2026, I want to table the 28th report of the Budget and Appropriation Committee. That is the report on the Nyandarua County First Supplementary Budget for the financial year 2025-2026. And I table.
Thank you. Honorable Chair, the report is duly tabled. The same shall be processed as directed by the House Business Committee, that is pursuant to Standing Order 157.5D. We go to the next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Mr. Speaker, sir, there is a notice of motion by Honorable Isaac Kongo Wajiru.
Very well. Chairperson Budget.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that the House does adopt the report of the Committee on Budget. No, Honorable Speaker, allow me to
Is it okay? You need ICT support?
I was
Okay.
contemplating on something whether we need to seek, but it's not necessarily, it's not a must for the budget anyway. Okay, Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give notice for the following motion, that the House does adopt the report of the Committee on Budget and Appropriation on the Nyandarua County Executive and County Assembly for supplementary budget estimate for the financial year 2025-2026 as a report of the House, and the recommendation therein as the resolution of the House. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Notice of motion is duly given, and the same shall be processed as directed by the House Business Committee, pursuant to Standing Order 157.5D. Next order.
Order number 7, statements. Order number 8, motions and bills. Under this order, there is a procedural motion by Honorable Isaac Kongo Wajiru, the Chairperson Committee on Budget and Appropriations.
Very well. Chairperson Budget and Appropriation, Honorable Kongo.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move the following motion, that pursuant to Standing Order 2236.
Point of information, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Kadungu.
Honorable Speaker,
Maybe to the House or to the Chair?
to the Chair.
Yeah.
And I would like to see, we don't have the soft copy of that budget, Honorable Speaker. It's important we have that document that's being moved.
Okay. Chair is a... Yeah, Honorable Kadungu, I'm told the report is on the tab. There is it, ICT. Kindly ensure every member has got that report.
Honorable Speaker, I think I can proceed as the ICT do the necessary.
Yeah, I think it's important for the members to have it before you proceed. We'll take. ICT, kindly ensure everybody has that.
Maybe the members need to clarify,
Yes.
because there are two reports.
Yeah.
There is the report that I'm moving,
Yes.
and also the annexure of the itemized.
Yes. Maybe Honorable Gadongo. Could.
Honorable Speaker,
Yes.
it has happened here in the previous proceedings of this assembly, where people are dealing with issues which they don't have the proper information, and being such, if the supplementary budget is there, I don't see, we should have all the documents with us so that we know what we are handling, Honorable Speaker.
Very
It
well.
is of interest to each and every honorable member.
Very well. I direct.
Honorable Speaker, information.
Yes, Honorable Kashamba.
It has been loaded. No,
It has been loaded. Maybe Honorable Gadongo, just confirm that you have. You have it. You can
Honorable
confirm you
Speaker,
have it.
My gadget.
Okay. So now you'll be able to follow as the chair proceeds. So chair, you can now proceed. Honorable Kongo, let's proceed now.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I wanted to move a procedural motion. And Honorable Speaker, I beg to move the following motion that pursuant to Standing Order 236, the motion that the House does adopt the report of the Committee on Budget and Appropriation of the Nyandarua County Executive and the County Assembly for supplementary budget estimate for the financial year 2025-2026 as a report of the House and the recommendation therein as the resolution of the House be exempted from the requirement of the Standing Order 50, subsection 5B, that requires a notice of motion to be given at least 1 day before the motion appears on the order paper. Honorable Speaker, the reason why we are requesting this, as you are aware, yesterday we were unable to table this report because we needed, first of all, the committee to sit down and adopt the report, and we have just tabled the report this morning. Today being 22nd, and this is being the first supplementary budget, all of us are aware that the financial year is coming to an end by 30th of June. So we barely have to, we have 2 months before we are able to implement the first supplementary budget. So we are calling for us to be allowed to be exempted from that 48 hours so that, Honorable Speaker, we can move the report today, adopt the report today, and maybe by the end of this week we are able to submit the budget to the executive for loading, such that we can have sufficient time to implement the supplementary budget, the first supplementary budget 2025-2026. So, Honorable Speaker, I move and I request Honorable Wajiro to second.
Yes, member for Kirita. Thank you, Honorable Wanjiru. I now propose a question, which is that this House does adopt the report of the Committee on Budget and Appropriations on the Nyandarua County Executive and the County Assembly for supplementary budget estimates for the financial year 2025-2026 as a report of the House, and the recommendations therein as the resolution of the House be exempted from the requirements of the Standing Order 55B. That requires a notice of motion be given at least 1 day before the motion appears on the order paper. I now put the question, which is that the report, that this House does adopt the report of the Committee on Budget and Appropriations of the Nyandarua County Executive and the County Assembly for supplementary budget estimates for the financial year 25-26 as a report of the House, and the recommendations therein as a resolution of the House be exempted from the requirement of the Standing Order 55B that requires a notice of motion be given at least 1 day before the motion appears on the order paper. May those of a similar opinion say aye. May those of a contrary opinion say nay. And the ayes have it. Clerk, next order.
Mr. Speaker, sir, as per your directions, we proceed to the main order paper. Order Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
No communication.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Under this order, Honorable Speaker, there is a report on a petition by Honorable Joseph Kuria Dhuo, the Chairperson Committee on Youth, Sports, Youth Empowerment and Arts.
Very well. Honorable Joseph Kuria Dhuo, Chairperson Committee on Sports, Youth, Empowerment and Arts. Member for Gathanji Ward.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, with me I have the report on the consideration of the petition on diversion of funds by the Young Spikers Volleyball team, and I wish to table. Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to take this opportunity on behalf of the committee to tender my appreciation to your office.
Maybe in the interest of, so that we are able to hear the chair, Honorable Kasana, Honorable Gatungu, maybe you can consult on low tones so that we are able to get what the chair is saying. Yeah, proceed, Honorable Kuria.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to take this opportunity on behalf of the committee to tender my appreciation to your office and that of the clerk for the support accorded for the successful execution of the committee's mandates. Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me to recognize the commitments and the selflessness of the members of the committee and the secretariat during this entire period of preparation and compilation of the statement response. The committee also appreciates the petitioners, the Young Spikers Volleyball team, for exercising their constitutional rights as provided under the Article 37 and 119 of the Constitution of Kenya. Finally, Mr. Speaker, sir, on behalf of the members of the committee, it is my distinguished duty and pleasure to present to the House the committee's report on the consideration of a petition on diversion of funds by Young Spikers Volleyball team. Honorable Speaker, on 5th November 2025, the Office of the Clerk received a petition, Annexure 1, from the Young Spikers Volleyball team of Wanjohi Ward regarding alleged diversion of funds allocated to the team during the financial year 2024-2025. Upon the receipt of the petition and pursuant to Standing Order 202, Subject 3 of the Nyandarua County Assembly Standing Orders, which provides that the clerk shall, within 7 days of the date of receipt of the petition, review it to ascertain whether it meets the requirement of these standing orders and of the law. The office of the clerk reviewed the petition to ascertain whether it met the requirements of the standing orders in respect of form, manner, and content. And upon review, it was established that the petition met the requisite procedural and substantive threshold under the standing orders. The petition was therefore admitted and forwarded to the Speaker for the presentation to the Assembly in accordance with Standing Order 205. In his communication during the sitting on 12 November 2025, the Speaker, Honorable Wachira Waiganjo, formally presented the petition before the House. The petition contained the following extracts. We, the undersigned, being the bona fide officials of Young Spikers Volleyball team from Wanjohi Ward, wish to petition on behalf of the team and bring to the attention of the Assembly the following. 1, that during the 2024-2025 financial year, we requested financial support from the Department of Youth Affairs, Sports and Innovation, Nyandarua County. 2, that the money was meant for registration, facilitation, and the purchase of kits and equipments. Number 3, that the club is registered with the Kenya Volleyball Federation and has been participation in the National League. 4, that the Kenya Volleyball Federation has issued the team with invoices and demand notices to pay for the facilitation. 5, that the money was subsequently allocated 700 Kenya shillings, 700,000 Kenya shillings in the budget financial year 2024/2025. 6, we reliably informed that the money was financially paid in form of an interest to one of the sports officers in the department for onward transmission to our club. Number 7, the said money was never forwarded to a club but was shared among the senior members of the department, and we only received 130 Kenya shillings thousand. Number 8, that we have visited the department severally, but we have not been assisted, but rather taken in circles. And number 9, that the matter is not pending before any court of law. And in their prayers, it is our humble prayer that the County Assembly does, 1, conduct a thorough investigation with the aim of ensuring that the money is issued and for the appropriation purposes. Number 2, take action against officers who will be found culpable of diversion or misappropriation of funds. And number 3, find sustainable and accountable ways of supporting the team and its activities. Petitioners number 1 was Peter Ngigi. He is the team manager, and we have his ID and signature signed. Petitioner number 2 was Joseph Wambogo. We have his ID and signature with the contacts therein. Honorable Speaker, the Committee of Youth Empowerment, Sports and Innovation is one of the sectoral committees established under the Standing Orders 200 of the Nyandarua County Standing Orders, with the mandate of the functions to 1, investigate, inquire into, and report on all matters relating to the mandate, management activities, administration, operation, and estimates of the assigned departments. We are also assigned to study the program and policy objectives of department and its effectiveness and of the implementation. C, study and review all county registration referred to it. We also study, access, and analyze the relative success of the department and all measures by the results obtained as compared with their stated objectives. We also investigate, inquire into all matters relating to the assigned departments as they may deem necessary and as may be referred to them by the Assembly. We also vet on report of all appointments where Constitution or any law requires the Assembly to approve. We also make reports and recommendations to the Assembly as often as possible, including recommendations to proposed registration. The committee is comprised of the following members. I myself, Kuria Duo, I'm the chairperson, Youth Sports and Arts. We also have Honorable Kithenji Rusi Kageni as the vice chairperson. We have Honorable Maina Peter Mwangi, member, County Assembly, Central Ward. We have Honorable Patience Manga. We have Honorable Simon Bogomboru, member, Ware Ward. We have Honorable Babu Juliana Mogore. We have Honorable Milka Nyambura. And we have Honorable Rimui Kayani, member, Yedafai. We have our secretariat. We have Mrs. Patricia Chege, our committee clerk. We have John Kahinga, our senior legal counsel. Honorable Speaker, upon tabling of the petition and pursuant to Standing Order 209, subsection 1, the Honorable Speaker referred it to the Committee of Youth Affairs, Sports and Arts, and with the following terms of reference. Number 1, consider the submission of the petitioners and all relevant parties, scrutinize all the documents provided by the parties, and to compile a report on the petition table. It is in the House within 60 days in infidelity to Standing Order 209, subsection 2. Honorable Speaker, Article 1 of the Constitution stipulates all sovereign power belongs to the people of Kenya and shall be exercised only in accordance with the Constitution. And number 2, The people may exercise their sovereign power either directly through their democratically elected representative. And number 3, sovereign power under this constitution is delegated to the foreign state organs, which shall perform their functions in accordance with the constitution. Mr. Speaker, in addressing itself to the issues raised by the petitioners, the committee resolved to request written responses from the County Executive Committee member, CCM, in charge of youth sports, and subsequently to invite relevant stakeholders to appear before it. In this regard, the committee invited the officials of the Young Spikers volleyball team and the Nyandarua County Executive Committee member in charge of sports. On 9th December 2025, the Office of the Clerk received written responses from the County Executive Committee member in charge of youth and sports regarding the matters raised in the petition and detailed hereunder. Issue 1 was the budgetary allocation. Issue 2 was the interest processing. Issue number 3 was funds received. And issue number 4 was the communication. On the issue number 1, that was the budgetary allocation, there was a claim. It was alleged that a sum of 700,000 Kenya shillings was officially allocated in the financial year 2024-2025 budget for the team's registration, facilitation, and equipment. In their response, the department clarified that there was a budgetary allocation of 700,000 Kenya shillings, which remained unutilized at the end of the financial year. In the issue number 2 about the interest processing, there was a claim that the funds were allegedly processed as interest to a sport officer within the department for onward transmission to the team. And in their response, the department stated that no such interest was processed, as that could not be facilitated due to procedural challenges encountered with the Department of Finance. There was the issue number 3, funds received. There was a claim. Reports indicated that the team received only 130,000 Kenya shillings, while the remainder was allegedly shared among senior department staff. And in their response, the department confirmed that the team did receive 130,000 Kenya shillings. However, they clarified that this amount did not originate from the cited budget vote head, but rather from other departmental allocations. Issue number 4 was communication, and the claim was the team reported that their attempts to seek clarification or resolution from the department had been fruitless. And in their response, the department maintained that it had been engaging in active communication with the Young Spikers team management and had already shared the relevant information with the team. So, Mr. Speaker, the committee noted that the written submissions provided did not adequately address the issues raised by the petitioners, and accordingly resolved to invite both the petitioners and the County Executive Committee member in charge of Sports Department to make oral submissions. The submissions were made as explained hereby. Mr. Speaker, these are the submissions according to the CCM member. Mr. Speaker, sir, on Wednesday, 17th February of 2026, the following officials of the Young Spikers volleyball team appeared before the committee as invited. We had Mr. Peter Ngigi Kamenya, who is the team manager. We also had Mr. Joseph Wambogu Gatini, who is the team coach. During their submissions, the officials informed the committee that the team is committed to promoting sporting excellence and is currently the only club representing the central region in the National League. However, they stated that the team operates without sponsorship and therefore relies heavily on government support to facilitate its participation in league's activities. The petitioners raised the following issues before the committee: that an allocation of 700,000 Kenya shillings was approved in the financial year 2024/2025 budget to cater for the registration, facilitation, and related expenses of the Young Spikers volleyball team. That despite the approved allocation, the team only received 130,000 from the department. There was another issue that the amount received was dispersed through M-Pesa transaction, facilitated through detailed orders and arrangements with Nuclear Circle for transportation of the team, following phone communications from officials within the departments. There was another issue that the team was informed by the department that financial support could only be extended to tournament participation and not to individual league requirements, and that the funds had allegedly been allocated to the governors' tournaments. There was another issue that owing to inadequate financial support and with the approval of the chief officer in charge of sports, the team was compelled to secure a loan of 450,000 Kenya shillings to facilitate its continued participation in the National League. There was another issue that the chief officer had committed to facilitate repayment of the borrowed funds but failed to do so, thereby placing a significant financial burden on the team's members. There was another issue that the petitioners therefore seek the intervention of the County Assembly through the committee responsible for the sports to ensure that the chief officer provides a comprehensive report to the issues raised and facilitate repayments of the outstanding debts. The committee directions to the petitioners: upon the consideration of the above claims, the committee directed the petitioners to submit relevant documentation to substantiate the allegations. Specifically, the petitioners were requested to provide a detailed budget breakdown for each payment made, clearly specifying the dates and corresponding payments amounts, as well as the M-Pesa statements showing the amounts received. In addition, the petitioners were required to furnish documentary evidence of past expenditure incurred in the course of participating in the National League. These included the M-Pesa statements, vendor details, and records relating to transport services provided through Nuclear Circle, among any other supporting documentation deemed relevant. However, by the time of the compilation of this report, the petitioners had not submitted the requested supporting documents, thereby limiting the committee's ability to fully verify the claims made in the petition. Our submission from County Executive Committee member, Mr. Speaker, sir, the CCM appeared before the committee on 10th March 2026 at 1100 hours to respond to the allegations raised by the petitioners, as well as to address the queries raised by the committee. In his submission, the CCM stated that, 1, the department did not have records of a club formally registered under the name Young Spikers. He clarified that the said name was understood to refer generally to young volleyball players across Nyandarua County. Number 2, the CCM submitted that there existed a budgetary allocation of 700,000 in the financial year 2024-2025 under the vote head support for volleyball team, Young Spikers. He indicated that the allocation was not earmarked for a specific club, but was intended to support volleyball development activities and various volleyball teams within the county. He also indicated that the department indicated that it had initially planned to organize an open volleyball tournament. However, the initiative did not materialize as intended. He also indicated that the team in question received financial supporting amount to 130,000. He clarified, however, that the said funds were not drawn from the aforementioned allocation, but from other departmental budget lines. The department further outlined additional support extended to the team as follows. Number one, there was a cash support of 130,000 Kenya shillings. Number two, fuel for private van, 2 trips at 20,000 Kenya shillings each for travel from Nyayo Stadium and Nyeri. That accumulated to 40,000 Kenya shillings. Number three, there was a cash support during His Excellency the Governor's appointments. That was 60,000 Kenya shillings. Number four, allowances dispersed via M-Pesa to John Kemani alias Chuma. 3 visits to that was 5,000 each, accumulating to 15,000 Kenya shillings. There was also supply of 10 volleyball teams balls at 3,500 each, accumulating to 35,000 Kenya shillings. There was also a facilitation of volleyball referees and coaches training, benefiting clubs countrywide. That was 120,000 Kenya shillings. The total support, according to the tabulation from the departments, it is accumulating to 400,000 Kenya shillings. It was further submitted that the allocation of 700,000 was not intended to benefit a single team, but to promote the inclusive volleyball development across Nyandarua. Following concerns raised by the other volleyball teams regarding equitable distribution of resources, the department resolved to reallocate the remaining balance of 300,000 Kenya shillings in the financial year 2025/2026 budget. The reallocated funds were earmarked for support of Federation Club sports events through the Kenya Volleyball Federation, with the objective of ensuring inclusivity and equitable benefit to all volleyball clubs within the county. The department categorically denied any allegations of irregular intention, misappropriation, or sharing of public funds among the staffs. The committee observations, Mr. Sikasa, having carefully considered the written submissions by the CCM member in charge of youth and sports, the oral submission by both the petitioners and the CCM, as well as the supporting documentation presented, the committee makes the following observations. Number one, there existed a budgetary allocation of 700,000 in the financial year 2024/2025 under the voted support for volleyball sports young spikers. Number two, evidence presented indicated that the allocation was made under the irreducible minimum for Wanjohi ward, and that the area member of County Assembly communicated to the chief officer that the funds were intended for the young spikers volleyball team. This position was, however, disputed by the department, which maintained that the funds were intended for general volleyball development across the county. However, the explanation by the departments was not possible or coherent. Number three, in the committee's observation, the department provided contradictory information regarding the utilization of the said funds, initially indicating that the allocation remained unutilized at the close of the financial year, while the controller of budget expenditure report confirmed that the full amount was expended within the fourth quarter. This material inconsistency raises serious concerns of the provision of the misleading information, possible misappropriation of public funds, and significantly undermines the integrity, accuracy, and reliability of the department's financial reporting. In the committee's observation, we also, notwithstanding confirmation of full expenditure, the department failed to provide a satisfactory explanation or adequate breakdown of how the 700,000 Kenya shillings was utilized, thereby undermining accountability in the management of public resources. The department's written or oral submission contained inconsistencies, particularly on the status, source, and utilization of funds dispersed to the team, thereby weakening the credibility of its evidence before the committee. The department confirmed that the team received 130,000 Kenya shillings, but maintained that the amount was drawn from other vote heads, despite the existence of a specific allocation for the same purpose. No documentary evidence was provided to substantiate the alternative funding source. In the committee observation, in addition, number 7, we have the department outlined further support of amounting to 400,000 Kenya shillings, comprising both direct and indirect facilitation. However, part of this support was not exclusively attributed to the petitioners, but was broadly spread across countywide volleyball development active initiative. The committee noted with concerns that several disbursements were undertaken through informal channels, including M-Pesa transfers and third-party arrangements, without adequate supporting documentation, such as payment vouchers, impress records, or beneficiary acknowledgements, notwithstanding that the team had a bank account, thereby weakening the financial accountability controls. In the committee's observation number 9, the absence of formal recognition or registration of the young spikers volleyball team within the department further complicated funding accountability and verification of beneficiaries. Number 10, the alleged reallocation of the remaining funds and subsequent budgeting in the financial year 2025-2026, though intended to promote inclusivity, was undertaken without clear linkage to the original approved purpose, thereby raising concerns on the adherence to approved budgetary provisions. The department did not demonstrate effective resolution of claims relating to the alleged commitments to facilitate repayment of a loan incurred by the petitioners, thereby leaving a matter unresolved. Lastly, the department failed to provide comprehensive documentary evidence to support its denial of allegations relating to misappropriation or irregular sharing of funds, despite being requested to do so. Overall, the committee finds that there were significant weaknesses in the financial management, planning, and accountability within the department in relation to the funds in question, characterized by inconsistencies, inadequate documentation, and poor audit trail. These lapses raise serious concerns regarding to the integrity of public resource management and the effectiveness of internal control system. The committee is further concerned that similar weaknesses may exist in the management of other funds allocated for sports development within the department. And in the recommendations, Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee, having considered the prayers sought by the petitioners and in evidence placed before it, makes the following specific recommendations. 1, that the Office of the Auditor General undertakes a special audit of the Department of Youth Empowerment, Sports and Innovation, with a special emphasis of the 700,000 Kenya shillings allocated in the financial year 2024/2025, with a vote head support for volleyball support, that is for the young spikers. Recommendation number 2, that upon conclusion of the audit, the CCM member responsible for finance, economic planning, ICT, and revenue does institute recovery measures, including surcharging of any misappropriated funds and from the responsible officers. Recommendation number 3, that the CCM member in charge of sports does undertake within 14 days an urgent reconciliation of all payments and support allegedly made to the young spikers volleyball team. including cash transfers, M-Pesa payments, fuel facilitation, and in-kind support, and submit a detailed reconciliation report to the County Assembly, failure to which appropriate sanctions shall be instituted. Recommendation number 4, that the CCM member in charge of youth and sports does within 7 days submit to the County Assembly a status report of the 450,000 loan incurred by the young spikers volleyball team, including the measures taken to address the financial burden arising from the departmental commitments. Recommendation number 5, that the CCM member in charge of youth and sports does within 30 days institute strict financial controls measures, including the mandatory use of official payments channels, impress registers, and documented beneficiary acknowledgements to eliminate informal and undocumented disbursement of public funds, and therefore submit a report of the same to the clerk of the County Assembly. Recommendation number 6, that the CCM member for Finance, Economic Planning, and ICT does investigate the discrepancies between the departmental budget implementation report for financial year 2024/2025 and the Controller of Budget Expenditure Return Report for the same period, and submit a report to the County Assembly within 30 days. Recommendation number 7, that the CCM member in charge of sports shall within 7 days submit to the County Assembly a comprehensive report detailing the utilization of funds allocated for all sports activities, including those implemented at the ward level in the financial year 2024/2025, together with all relevant supporting documentation. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, sir, having considered the petition and the submissions from both parties, the committee notes that while efforts were made to support volleyball development in the county, there were notable weaknesses in the financial management and clarity in the utilization of the 700,000 Kenya shillings allocation. The inconsistencies in the department's explanation and lack of adequate documentation undermined transparency and public confidence in the process. The committee is therefore of the review that the issue raised require further scrutiny as set out in the recommendations to ensure accountability and proper use of public funds. The committee accordingly submits this report for the consideration by the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Kuria. Any further comment? Okay, thank you. Honorable members, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 292, the chairperson was expected to present the report as he has done on the petition, and no debate on the report is allowed. I can, however, under my discretion, allow members to make comments and pursuant to the standing order. This comment should not exceed 20 minutes. I'll allow the member for Wanjohi to make a comment for 5 minutes, of course, considering it falls under his jurisdiction, but all other members will only comment for 2 minutes each. Let's proceed. We can start with member for Wanjohi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, allow me first of all to sincerely appreciate the committee sports because they went through the process of the petition. They invited me as amicus and I was able to attend into their meetings and I could follow on the issues that were raised by the petitioners. Honorable Speaker, it's very sad. It is a very, very sad state of affair. The team we are talking about is a team that is participating in the Premier League women volleyball. And I want the members to see clearly. It is a team from Nyandarua. Actually, it is not a team from Wanjohi. It is only that the managers and some players come from Wanjohi, but it is a team that constitutes players from across Nyandarua County. People who have come together without sponsors, undergoing very difficult situations. They have competed at the local level. They have gone at the regional level, that is the central region. They are now at the Premier League. Actually, as we are speaking right now, it is a team that is number 9 out of 11 teams that are participating in the national leagues. And I want you to see young spikers are competing against teams like Post Bank, who have sponsors, Kenya Prisons, DCI, KDF, KCB, Nairobi Prison, Kenya Army. This team of Nyandarua, of young spikers, is competing with those teams. And it is number 9 out of number 11. They came to me through Honorable Patience. And they told me they have been seeking for support from the executive through the Department of Sports, but they have not been getting any. So they requested, we are struggling, we don't have uniform. Actually, they gave a story whereby a team like Post Bank, they have, within one match, they are able to change uniform 5 or 6 times. For them, they only have one uniform and another one for practice. 2 pairs of uniform. They don't have balls. Actually, they are being given balls by those teams they are competing with. So they told me they don't have balls, they don't have uniform, they don't have accommodation. How can we assist them? We were able to allocate them 700,000 for support. To our surprise, that money was diverted to other things. They were not given, even after itemizing in the budget that the 700,000 should go to young spikers. What amazes me and what makes me sad, when the department was asked why they did not give the money, they said they don't recognize a club by the name of young spikers. A club in Nyandarua participating in the National League called Young Spikers, the department doesn't know that club. It's a very sad state of affair, Honorable Speaker. And instead of using this team to brand Nyandarua, because we should be branding Nyandarua through this team because it is participating at the national level, we have diverted the money. I had a discussion with the CCM and the chief officer. I told them the predicament of the team. They told they are going to support them. They told them even to take a loan. They took a loan from a Shylock. It is a very, very, very sad of affair. And Honorable Speaker, because the committee has done its work and have given very good recommendation. I know that these recommendations will be coming to the Budget and Appropriation Committee. For Implementation Committee. And I know as a member for Wajohi Ward, I am going to follow up on this matter to make sure that those recommendations are implemented. If somebody required to be surcharged, we will make sure that those people are surcharged. It is very sad. It is very sad. We should be proud of such kind of an achievement for a team from Nyandarua. Actually, all other governors are looking for a team like the one for young spikers. They should be branded using even Nyandarua uniforms, the Nyandarua County uniforms at Kasarani, where they are playing the Premier League. We should be giving them accommodation. But instead of doing that, whatever little we have been able to provide, even through our own irreducible minimum, it has been squandered, Honorable Speaker. There is a very sad state of affair, and you saw it in the news the other day, in the national TV Citizen. This issue was raised. Because Nyandarua, they were there, they were complaining, they could not get any support. It was an embarrassment for our whole county, yet we had provided some money that would have been able to assist them to compete. Anyway, counties like Vihiga are owning football teams. They are sponsoring football teams all the way to national, to Premier League. In Nyandarua, we do some things haphazardly. There is nothing we can be able. This is a team comprising wholly of Nyandarua players. The coach, everybody comes from Nyandarua. Yet, we cannot be able to support such a team. So, Honorable Speaker, allow me not to talk much about this, but I am glad that justice has been done by the committee. They have been given very good recommendation, and we are going to follow up on those recommendations. And even in the coming budget, because we want to support the team to continue playing at the Premier League, we know that the necessary will be going to be done. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Any other member? Okay. Thank you, honorable members. Honorable members, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 2093, I direct the clerk to notify the petition of the consideration of the petitioners of the consideration of their petition. Further, I direct the clerk to send this report to the county executive for consideration and implementation. Clerk, next order.
Order number 5, papers. Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, statements. Order number 8, motions and bills. Under this order, Mr. Speaker, there are 2 motions. The first one is by Honorable Isaac Wajiro, the Chairperson Committee on Budget and Appropriations.
Very well, Chairman. Budget and Appropriation, Honorable Isaac Wajiro.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, allow me to move the motion. Honorable Speaker, allow me to move the motion that the House does adopt the report of the Committee on Budget and Appropriation on the Nyandarua County Executive and the County Assembly first supplementary budget for the
Honorable Speaker.
financial year 2025-2026.
Yes, member for Magumo.
I think Honorable Gathungu had raised a concern about the annexure of the report, and it is yet to be provided.
Yes, ICT. Kindly let's have the annexure so that we can. So maybe probably we could be proceeding with the next order as we wait for regularization. Yeah, in the interest of time. Maybe clerk, we go to the next order. Chairman budget, we can hold that as the ICT regularizes.
Under the same order, there is a motion by Honorable Zachary Mwangi Jeru, the Chairperson Committee on Finance, Economic Planning, ICT and Revenue.
Very well. Honorable Zachary Mwangi Jeru, Chairperson, Finance, Economic Planning and ICT and Revenue.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move the following motion that this House does adopt the report on the Committee on Finance, Economic Planning and ICT and Revenue on the Nyandarua County Revenue Fund Annual Report and the financial statements for the financial year ended 30th day of June 2025 as a report of the House and the recommendations therein as the resolution of the House. Honorable Speaker, for the interest of time, I only intend to highlight on the fundamental issues from the report, and I intend to go directly to the committee findings and observations pertaining this report. And Honorable Speaker, the committee having considered the County Revenue Fund Annual Report and financial statement for the period, the County Revenue Fund Day to the management team, Honorable Speaker, who held office during the financial year, highlighted. We have the CCM, Finance and Economic Planning and ICT, that is Honorable Mary Kamande. We have the Chief Officer Finance, CPA Frederick Irongo, and we have the FAD accountant, that is CPA Samuel Odongo. From the budget analysis, Honorable Speaker, the county budget for the financial year 24-25 was approved by the County Assembly on the 27th day of June 2024. Subsequent revisions and additions were made to the approved budget in accordance with the specific approvals in order to conclude the final budget. And Honorable Speaker, the county initial budget estimates were Kenya shillings 8 billion 486 million 472,321 Kenya shillings, and later a supplementary budget amounting to 8 billion 779 million 773,471 shillings, which comprised of 36% and 63% development and recurrent estimates respectively. Honorable Speaker, the budget was financed from various revenue sources that include the equitable share of the revenue raised nationally, OSR, that is our own source revenue, conditional grants, and the unspent balances for the financial year 24-25. Honorable Speaker, there was an increase in the budget from the financial year 23-24 by 0.4%, which was attributed to the increase of equitable share of Kenya shillings that 1,631,927 Kenya shillings. The analysis of the approved budget, Honorable Speaker, is tabulated in the table below. In the initial budget, the equitable share was 6 billion 137,355,000, whereas the supplementary budget had a figure of 5 billion 936,521,652 Kenya shillings. We had a projection of own source revenue of 600 million. Under the FIF, that is Facility Improvement Financing, we had an allocation of 250 million, both in the initial budget and in the supplementary budget. At the conditional grants, Honorable Speaker, in the initial budget, we had 1,499,117,321 Kenya shillings, whereas in the supplementary budget, we had 1,510,749,804. Other unspent balances, that is returned to the CRF. In the initial budget, there were none, but during supplementary budget, we had 10,023,930 Kenya shillings. Under the unlimited funds, we had none in the initial budget, but in the supplementary budget, we had 472,478,085 Kenya shillings. The revenue performance in the financial year under review, Honorable Speaker. This promoted the reasons for the budget adjustments. One, incorporating the 2023-2024 financial year pending bills. Number two, realigning the changes in the projected revenues as per the CARA, that is amended 2025. Number three, incorporating the unspent balances, that is balances brought forward, and limited balances from the financial year 23-24, and realigning of the budget for efficiency and responsiveness to the emerging issues. Honorable Speaker, Table 3 shows the revenue estimates for the financial year 2024-2025, and at the equitable share, the total percentage for the budget, we have 67.6%. And down source revenue, we had 6.8%. FIF 2.9%. Conditional grants, loans and grants, we had 17.2%. Unspent balances, we had 0.11%. Unlimited equitable share, Honorable Speaker, we had 5.4%. Honorable Speaker, at the revenue performance, the county received 6,752,074,808 Kenya shillings as the total revenues for the fund, both recurrent and development activities in the period under review, which constitutes 77% of the projected revenue. The performance revenue types are as explained below, Honorable Speaker. One, part of the OSR revenue is FIF fund, which is not limited to the CRF. Number two, the conditional grants anticipated were released after the end of the date of the financial year and could not be transferred to the special purpose accounts. Number three, we had delay in the release of requisition by the controller of budget. And lastly, only the development and the current account balances are returned to the CRF. Honorable Speaker, at the equitable share transfer, the county received 6,408,999,737 Kenya shillings as the equitable share. Both allocation for the period under review and unlimited equitable share. The equitable share from the national government accounts to 73% of the total revenue expected in the county. The table below, Honorable Speaker, shows the revenue type and the actual revenue. At the equitable share, we had 9,936,521,652 Kenya shillings. At unlimited equitable shares, we had 472,478,085 shillings. And that gives a total of the 6.4 billion plus. At our OSR, Honorable Speaker, it is good to note that the county revenue targets and collection has improved over the years, despite missing out on the projected revenue collection. Other than the financial year 24-25, where the set target was achieved, the realized revenues has grown from Kenya shillings 138 million in the financial year 2015, which included revenue from the hospitals and other sources. Honorable Speaker, the year under review, that is revenue from hospitals, was detached from the OSR revenue basket and left for facility improvement fund. Honorable Speaker, the county had a projection of 600 million for the period under review and a correction of Kenya shillings 365,952,554 Kenya shillings was realized from the various revenue streams. This was 61% of the projected revenue. Honorable Speaker, the table below highlights the budgeted target, actual receipts, and the percentage received, and I don't intend to go through it. Honorable Speaker, the committee observed that transfer received in the period under review from other government include: we had road maintenance levy that amounted to 78,019,732 Kenya shillings. We had the Kenya Urban Support project, that is KUSIP, having an allocation of 32,309,300 Kenya shillings. We had another fund from the World Bank, that is National Agricultural Value Chain Development Project, that is NAFCDP, which had an allocation of 41,960,821 Kenya shillings. Then we have another fund from the still from the World Bank, that is Kenya Informal Settlement Improvement Project, that is KISIP level 2, which had 282 million. Then we have the FROCA, that is financially locally led climate action program, that had a total of 9,275,840 Kenya shillings. And lastly, we had DANIDA, that is primary health care in a devolved context, which had a total of 5,630,625 Kenya shillings and 75 cents. Honorable Speaker, other revenues that the funds that funds the budget include the facility improvement financing and unset balances, which accounts to 3% of the projected revenue. However, the FIF was not received in the CRF because it is received in the facility for the management of facilities following enactment of the Facility Improvement Financing Act 2024. Honorable Speaker, the payments are based on the County Government Appropriation Act. The exchequer requests are received by the county treasury from the various county departments, consolidates the requests and forwards them to the controller of budget for approval. And once the approval is obtained, the funds are released to the relevant operational accounts of the county, of the executive and the county assembly. Honorable Speaker, the total payments during the period amounted to Kenya shillings 7,319,253,762 Kenya shillings, which comprised of 6,451,151,024 Kenya shillings to the county executive, and a total of 868,102,738 Kenya shillings to the county assembly. And Honorable Speaker, the transfer entails for the county executive, for the recurrent account, we had 4,316,240,738 Kenya shillings. For the development account, we had 1,757,166,894 Kenya shillings. Honorable Speaker, for the special purpose account, we had 377,743,392 Kenya shillings, and that gave a total of 451,151,024 Kenya shillings. For the county assembly, we have two descriptions. That is the recurrent account, which constituted 818,332,360 Kenya shillings, and the development account totaling to 49,770,378 million, promoting a total of 868,102,738 Kenya shillings. Honorable Speaker, when the committee followed the recommendations from the Auditors General, the financial statement of the Nyandarua County Revenue Fund for the year ended 30th June 2025 was subjected to the audit in accordance with the provisions of Article 229 of the Constitution of Kenya and Section 35 of the Public Audit Act 2015. The audit findings are as follows, Honorable Speaker. 1, at the presentation of financial statements, the committee found there was a risk of non-compliance with the reporting template, where the department was advised to amend the annual financial statement template report to conform to the reporting template, and the department amended the financial statement to conform with the reporting template. At the revenue shortfall, Honorable Speaker, the statement of comparison of budget and the actual amounts reflects a shortfall. The absorption of the budget may have negatively affected the service delivery to the citizen of Nyandarua County, Honorable Speaker, and the risk of not collecting or receiving revenues as budgeted adversely affect service delivery. Honorable Speaker, the management were not able to reach the revenues targets because 1, unrealized OSR targets due to high targets. Number 2, the conditional grants anticipated were released at the last date of the financial year and could not be transferred to the special purpose account. And number 3, some conditional grants were paid at source. For example, leasing of medical equipment and supplements for construction of the county headquarters were not received by the CRF, but paid directly to the supplier by the National Treasury. Honorable Speaker, inaccuracies in the third crossing balance. It was noted that the statement of financial performance as disclosed, Honorable Speaker, reflect OSR revenue amount which are at variance as reported by the County Revenue Fund, and those reported at a review of revenue, Honorable Speaker. No reconciliation was provided to explain the variance. In addition, Honorable Speaker, the department noted the observation which was caused by delayed exchequer release, the expenditure accrued to July 2024, which will be resolved by adopting of the accrual basis of accounting. And lastly, Honorable Speaker, the unresolved prior year audit issues, it was noted that the audit based on streamlining revenue collection systems and ensure that funds from the government entities are transferred immediately received, especially resolved. Honorable Speaker, with those findings, the committee came up with recommendations, Honorable Speaker, and one, in view of the mentioned findings, Honorable Speaker, the committee recommends that the county executive member for finance, economic planning, and ICT going forward does ensure that there is right data on performance for every stream before setting revenue targets. Number 2, that going forward the county executive member for finance, economic planning, and ICT and revenue does ensure the revenue projections will only be 10% above the previous year's performance, Honorable Speaker. That is, at least there is an actual target, Honorable Speaker. Number 3, that going forward the county executive member for finance, economic planning, and ICT does ensure the right template is issued during reporting. Equally, that the county executive committee member does bring to this house tariff and pricing policy for approval within 60 days. That is another policy gap, Honorable Speaker, that was noted by the committee. And lastly, that the county executive committee member of finance, economic planning, and ICT going forward does ensure that the reconciliation statement between the revenue reported in the county revenue fund and the receiver of revenue report accompanies, Honorable Speaker, the annual report. Honorable Speaker, considering that we have a supplementary budget to deal with, I want to call Honorable Kuriadu to second.
Honorable Speaker, I second.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Honorable Kuria. I now propose the question, which is that this House does adopt the report of the Committee on Finance, Economic Planning, ICT, and Revenue on the Nyandarua County Revenue Fund Annual Report and Financial Statement for the financial year ended 30th June 2025 as a report of the House, and the recommendations therein as a resolution of the House. I now put the question, which is that this House does adopt the report of the Committee on Finance, Economic Planning, ICT, and Revenue on the Nyandarua County Revenue Fund Annual Report and Financial Statement for the financial year ended 30th June 2025 as a report of the House, and recommendations therein as a resolution of the House. May those of a similar opinion say aye. May those of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk, we can now move to the issue of budget.
As per your directions, Honorable Speaker, we revert back to the motion on the supplementary budget.
Is everything in order? Has the members been supplied with the annexures as directed? Not yet. So chair budget, is the committee not ready or?
Honorable Speaker, I think as members are aware, when it comes to issues of the itemized budget, there is that issue. Actually, the document is being completed, and it's a process. Even as we finished on the issues of the report, there is the issues of checking, the rebalancing, looking whether there is any of that. But I'm of the opinion, if the members feel that they are not comfortable for me to move, we can wait until the Secretariat are able to do all the necessary check whether there is any typo errors or everything, because you know you are dealing with figures, and they are also looking at the supply for the afternoon. So, Honorable Speaker, if the member feel that they are not comfortable, I move before they get the itemized. I'm comfortable to move it in the afternoon.
Honorable Kasana, respond on that.
Honorable Speaker, I think it is better we move it in the afternoon because it is a sensitive document. When something passes without your knowledge, it can't be changed. Maybe we wait until evening when the report is ready.
Thank you. Considering that, Honorable, yes, Honorable Ngeshe, what is it?
I want to add more weight on what Honorable Kasana is saying, because, Mr. Speaker, you know, our life depends on this budget, and it is only fair if we are aware what the chair is telling us, because at the end of the day, they could be cunning, and we don't want to insinuate or allege that they are cunning. So they should, if they require more time, kindly grant them so that they are ready.
Honorable Joyce, you have something?
I just also wanted to echo on that. For us to come to pass, it's important we have the details on exactly what it is that we are talking about. And especially even some have gone ahead and requested for the document, but it has not been availed for us to have the information before.
Thank you, Honorable Members. Considering that the issue had been raised by Honorable Kasana, and of course considering all the sentiment of the members, I hereby direct that the same be moved in the afternoon session. Clerk, next order. And I further direct that the Secretariat provide the annexures. Next order.
Honorable Speaker, the business of this sitting as appearing on the order paper has been exhausted.
There being no other business to transact during this sitting, I now adjourn the House to Tuesday, the 28th day of April, 2026 at 2:30 p.m. Sorry, I say to 28th, no, to 22nd, which is today, at 2:30, being Wednesday, today. Apologies for that.